Let's start at the beginning.
How much time do you spend doing this?
Cell phones are everywhere these days, right? They provide us with the ability
to show social media platforms are safe enough for kids and teens.
Most Gen Z kids don't remember a world without smartphones. We grew up watching YouTube before we even learned how to multiply. We learned from Google more than your school textbook. And when we needed a break, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook.
When I was younger, I didn't really care as much about what people thought of me and my Instagram account, but now I feel like that kind of affects me a little bit more.
When you're like feeling at your worst and then you go on Instagram and you see like models, influencers, celebrities, things like that, and you're just like, oh, well, I'll never be like that.
It's all just a tap away. That kind of access has its perk. We're a quick thinker. We learn fast, we're resourceful. But we're also easily bored. The second something doesn't grab our attention, we scroll. Our brain has been trained to crave stimulation. Fast, flashy, bite-sized. So now, sitting through a full 30-minute lecture feels like running a marathon with no water. And that's a huge problem, because the world doesn't work on swipe speed. Real life, especially adult responsibilities, takes patience, deep thinking, and sustained attention.
Social media can exploit the parts of our brain that get us to connect with other humans. Our brains get us to make those human connections by releasing dopamine in the reward pathway, which is the feel-good neurotransmitter. And what happens with certain types of social media apps is that they release so much dopamine in the reward pathway that they essentially become the equivalent of an addictive drug.
Now imagine this. You're 18 or 19 years old. You just been accepted into the Indonesian Naval Academy in Surabaya. You're trading your white shirt and laptop for a shaved haircut, a stiff uniform, and a 3:30 a.m. wake-up call. Welcome to a world with no room for distraction. In the Naval Academy, your day is fully scheduled, from morning drills to evening study. There's no 5 more minutes in bed, no checking your phone during lectures, no scrolling through reels to unwind. And for Gen Z cadets who grew up with the freedom of multitasking and short-form content, this lifestyle feels brutal at first, but it also teaches something powerful. Because in a place where you can't escape your task, your only option is to commit to it. Here's the thing most people don't realize. Distraction doesn't just waste time, it weakens discipline. When your brain constantly jumps from one thing to another, it forgets how to sit still, how to focus, how to finish. And in the military, that's not just a personal problem. It risks to a fellow cadets. If a cadet zones out during a weapon training, it could lead to a fatal injury. If someone can stay mentally present during a sea navigation drills, it could risk an entire ship. So in this environment, focus is a way of survival. And that forced Gen Z cadets to retrain their mind from the ground up. They learned that discipline isn't just about obeying orders from the higher up. It's about controlling your own attention. Many cadets talk about a kind of technology withdrawal in their first week. They used to checking their phone every few minutes, used to be comfort of a playlist, a podcast, or scroll through social media. At the Naval Academy, those habits are forcefully stripped away. And at first, it's tough. The silence is menacingly uncomfortable. But then something interesting happens. They start to notice things. The sound of their breath during a run, the feeling of teamwork during a drill, the ability to actually hear themselves think. Without the digital noise, their minds slowly relearn how to focus, how to listen deeply, how to stay in the moment. It's not easy, but it's real growth. Here's what's wild. The brain is incredibly adaptable, just like we've trained it to scroll and switch. We can train it to focus again. At the academy, cadets develop routines. They read books cover to cover. They memorize naval tradition. They train their bodies and their mind to push past discomfort. And slowly, they realize focus isn't just something you either have or don't have. It is a skill. And like any skill, it gets stronger the more you work on it. In a world where most Gen Z kids are losing focus, as an Indonesian Naval Academy cadets, we are building it like a muscle. We are trained to keep it professional, maintaining its integrity, and keeping the doctrine we get as a valuable lesson for our future path. As an Indonesian Naval Academy cadets, we are building it like a muscle. We are trained to keep it professional, maintaining its integrity, and keeping the doctrine we get as a valuable lesson for our future path.
Dan Taruna Junior melaksanakan interaksi. Di sana Taruna Senior dapat mengecek adiknya atau juga adiknya dapat bertanya dengan seniornya. Sehingga di sana terjadi diskusi antara kami maupun interaksi antara Taruna Senior dan Junior.
Akan menampilkan display formasi penyerang suling kita Jala Taruna.
So, what can we take from all this?
Gen Z and shit, like these motherfuckers don't want to work, bro. No one wants to put the work in. They want instant gratification. And that's something that social media has done, right? Social media has given people this perception that like, yo, I made it overnight, right? So then you're sitting there looking like, okay, I'm going to start a YouTube channel. And you post one video and it gets 5 views and you give up. You're like, oh, I'm done. Because they like you think that it's just this overnight grind. Listen, some people do blow up overnight, but it's a very small percentage of people. And I just think that like people see that and they think that that's the reality of it. No one wants to put in the work. No one believes in the longevity of what they're doing, right? And that's the problem. Is just it's one day it's this, the next day it's that. Pick a fucking lane, give it your all, and give it a couple of years.
People think that we are lazy, but I think we are way more like we work way harder than anyone else. It's just we only work for people we believe in. We don't work for everybody.
Is that what Gen Z thinks, or is that the truth?
I think that's the truth.
Gen Z is not doomed. We're not lazy. We're not broken. We're not broken. We've just grown up in a world that constantly pulls our attention away.
You hear this all the time. Don't sweat the small stuff. The 1%ers, the 0.01, they sweat every single detail. Because the one thing they let slip, somebody is going to use that to their advantage. Somebody is going to make a big deal out of it, and they're going to feel like they left something out.
Believe in yourself. Success starts with one simple belief: believing in yourself. It doesn't matter where you are today or what you've been through. What matters is your belief that you can rise, that you can improve, and that you can achieve your dreams. The first step towards your success is to trust in your abilities. Don't let doubt take the wheel. You have everything inside you to be unstoppable.
But if young cadets in one of the toughest academies in Indonesia can fight to get their focus back, so can we. We don't need to go full military to fix our attention, but maybe we can take small steps. Turn off notification for an hour. Read without checking your phone. Get comfortable with boredom again.
We often dream big, but here's the secret. Big success is built on small steps. Think about it. One brick at a time builds a house. One step forward every day creates momentum. You don't have to climb the whole mountain today. Just take that first step. Progress isn't about speed, it's about consistency. So no matter how small the step, take it today, because small actions lead to big results.
Because in a noisy world, focus is freedom. And if we can learn to master it, we might just become the most capable, creative, and powerful generation yet. That's all from me. Thank you. Until we meet again.